here. Let me take the mask off, and I think I've got to reorient my camera here. So give me a second here to reorient the camera. Where am I going to clamp it onto? Oh, I think I can leave it actually where it is. Let's try this, and let me just mess around with the ball head here and see if I do that. Yes, that's what I was looking for. All right, so we're gonna do some, I don't ever do live sharpening, but I've got last 10 kitchen knives to finish up. Actually, I take that back. How many do I have? 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15 knives I've got to finish up for one more customer. I thought I only had 10, but 5 of them over here are pretty much done. I just need to wipe off the hand or wipe them down. 10 are still in the sharpening process. So I've already done my Kalamazoo 1x42 with the 120 grit ceramic belt on it. Now I'm getting into the sorry, mask getting in the way. Now I'm getting into the 120 grit the 600 grit Trizac on the second Kalamazoo. And then next step will be here. Hopefully I'll be able to rotate the camera. I got this new mount for my, it's like a clamp mount for my camera, which allows me to clamp it like all over the shop. Yep, that'll work. So I'll be able to head over to the, I'll be able to move over to the leather wheel next. All right, so this is Warren from Honed by Jones. I am live here in Carson City, Nevada. I wasn't sure if I was set up right there and it was working right. Let's see. I saw someone just joined, so yeah. Let me start over again and saying that I'm finishing up the last run of knives that I have to sharpen for Thanksgiving here. I've got 10 kind of laying around my machines here. 10 knives that still need the last 2 steps of sharpening. I've got 5 where I just need to wipe off the blades, and then I'm done. So I'm gonna just sharpen while we hang out here. I don't ever do live sharpening, but I thought I would change things up today and go for it. I don't know how to get, since I'm on my, how to get to the live chat. So if you have a question for me or something like that while I'm sharpening it, I may not be able to see it because I don't know how to get to the live chat simultaneously while I'm recording this on my phone. So yeah, maybe if you have any questions for me on what I'm doing when I'm sharpening or any questions about what I do with my sharpening service, put them in the comments, and then I will check them out after I'm done with the live, because I don't think I can reach up there and tap on the phone while I'm doing it. All right, going in. I will stop and say that these are Kalamazoo. I have 2 Kalamazoo 1x42s. One that you can, they're set up identically. One that you can see in the frame here, this Kalamazoo 1x42. One that you can't see that's over here that has 120 grit ceramic. I've already done that step. These are from Kalamazoo Industries. They are they spin at 1725 RPM. I run them edge leading with an angle guide on here. So I have Cliff Curry. I bought these angle guides from Curry Custom Cutlery in Hawaii, and that's how I'm using them today. I often sometimes also freehand sharpen on the slack part of the belt, but today I'm actually using the angle guide. So I kind of go back and forth depending on my mood. All right, I'm gonna get started again. That was not a knife. That was just a random piece of metal that was sitting on my workbench that I need to move. So let me start over one more time on sharpening that guy. All right, first 4 just need stropping now. So we are gonna see if we can turn the camera just a hair and see if we can get you over to the stropping wheel here. Voila. All right, cool. I use a Buck Tool 1x30. This is the Buck Tool combination 1x30 and 6-inch grinder. You can barely see it in the picture here. Actually, I think I can move it over to where you can see it. Let me do that. Let me just slide it over a hair. Dun, 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 dun. I don't usually have it so close to the other machine, but just for today. So there, now you can see it a bit better. There's a 1x30 setup on one side and a bench grinder setup on the other side. I actually use an 8-inch leather wheel on this machine because it fits an 8-inch leather wheel, and it just, if you use an, I originally purchased a 6-inch leather wheel for the Buck Tool. If you put a 6-inch leather wheel on here, when you're stropping on the leather wheel, the 6-inch leather wheel is closer to the radius or the round area here of the bench grinder of the motor, and so sometimes I would hit it with my fingers as I was sharpening. So I ended up giving the 6-inch leather wheel to a friend, and I bought a new 8-inch leather wheel, and it just gives me a lot more clearance when I'm stropping the knife, that I never have to worry about running into the body of the machine here that houses the engine. The engine housing, that's the term I was looking for. So that's the next step. I'm just gonna do these 4, turn that guy on. I don't even have a belt in here currently. I just am using this as a bench grinder. Sometimes I put a belt in here, but I think one of the pulleys doesn't like, it gets really cold here in Carson City, and I think the upper pulley on this 1x30 did not like the cold weather. If I go sharpen mobile or at the farmer's market, I think that pulley didn't like the cold weather and it started to whine. As soon as I took the belt off and just ran it with no belt on there and just having the leather wheel spinning, no more noise. So I'm going to try to upgrade those pulleys, maybe with something from the upgraded wheels from Cliff Curry. From Curry Custom Cutlery will fit on this guy. I'm not sure. I'll have to look up those specs and see what's going on with that. Okay, back to stropping. All right, I've got 6 more knives to go. So let's keep going. All right, I am going to reposition and rearrange a little bit here, just because I'm moving stuff around to try to make it so that I can stay in the frame of the video. And the last step, oh, I already stropped those guys. Let's leave those where they were. Do. All right, we'll leave those guys where they were. Yes, so we got the basket there. Okay, so now I just need to strop these last 6, and I'm done and dusted here. So, okay. I had one more customer who said he was going to call today and drop off knives, but he hasn't dropped off any knives. So, oh, and now I can turn the heater back on. My heater is on the same, oops, I pushed the wrong button. Okay, let me turn that off. My heater is on the same power strip currently. It's not going to stay there forever, but it's on the same power strip as my 1x32s, or 1x42s, I should say. And so I turn it off while I'm using the machines, and then I turn it right back on. All I've got to do now is wipe down the blades and wrap them up. For my customers, the way I wrap up their knives is I buy this perforated paper off of Amazon. So as you can see, it looks like regular paper, but then you pull on it, and when you pull on it, it kind of becomes perforated. So that's what I wrap. I've had good luck with this, wrapping up their knives once I'm done. So this customer gave me some towels when she dropped off her knives. Actually, her knives came wrapped up in these towels. And it's always a debate for me if I wrap them back up in the customer's towels or if I switch to putting it in my paper. And I think what I'm going to just do consistently from now on is use my paper and then wrap it up in their towels after that. The problem with using their towels is often they're not big enough, and often they don't actually really cover the knives, and I end up with tips and stuff like that poking out of the towels. And so my paper, I know I can always get it big, it's always big enough to do the job, and I don't have to worry about that. I live in Carson City, Nevada, and this is my home workshop here.
It's in my garage, and it gets pretty cold in Carson City. Right now, we're down to 20, I would say we're down to like 25 degrees typically at night, and 40s during the day, sometimes getting up to 50 during the day, but not much warmer than that. And so, one of the things I've invested in recently that's been really helpful for my sharpening business. Oh, let me not digress here though. Let me say, if you're going to use rubbing alcohol that's what I use to wipe your knives down. I spray it onto the towel first rather than spraying it onto the knife first. It's just a lot easier. I worked in a bike shop, and I remember one day when I was a lot younger, and I remember one day I was working in the bike shop, and one of my coworkers was struggling with cleaning a bike that we were doing a tune-up on, and he was spilling stuff everywhere. And I said, "Why don't you just spray it on the towel first, and then wipe it onto the bike?" And I remember him looking at me with just like mind blown, thinking, "Oh, I didn't think of that." And I find it's the same way in my workshop. I always try to keep it relatively clean. I find it's the same way in my workshop. I want to keep my workshop relatively clean, and if I'm not trying to spray directly onto the customer's knives, and instead spraying onto the towel, it just keeps everything a lot cleaner. I don't end up with drips of rubbing alcohol, or I also use Simple Green a lot in my shop, so I don't end up with that stuff all over the shop, making a mess if I spray it onto the towel first. But I digressed there. One of the things I wanted to say was that I have started using electric hand warmers. So I do a farmer's market every week, and as you can imagine, in my garage workshop right now, I have a heater going. It's keeping things warmer. But I bought these electric hand warmers off of Amazon, and I will often keep them in, even when I'm out in the garage workshop, because it's probably in the 40s in my workshop right now, 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Even in here, it gets pretty cold. And so I will keep those hand warmers. I forgot them inside right now, but I'll often just keep them in my pockets, and they heat up really warm. And then I can just sticking my hands in my pockets for, I don't know, a minute will help warm them up quite a bit. That's the one part of my body that tends to easily get the coldest, and it makes it hard for me to work when I'm doing stuff. I'm a craftsman here. I'm a sharpener working with my hands, and if my hands get too cold, it makes everything more difficult. So I'm really enjoying the electric hand warmers for both the farmer's market and for my workshop. While I'm maneuvering around my shop with my knives, I keep them in these plastic bins that I got from the dollar store, one of the dollar stores in town. It's really great for keeping my shop organized. I do not like to have knives laying all over my shop in random places. And the other thing that happens if I have knives laying all over my shop in random places is I run the potential of losing a customer's knife. This customer brought me 15 knives, and I don't want to, end up giving her back 14 because I put one knife in some random spot in my shop and I don't know where it is. So I always try to keep them in these plastic bins. It keeps everything organized and tidy, and I don't have to, mess around with trying to figure out where they might be. The bins are about 11 inches by 15 inches. So yeah, we're in the mid-20s in the day. Home Spark knife sharpening. We're in the mid-20s in the day and the mid-teens at night. I have a heater that gets my garage up to the mid-60s. Yeah, my heater doesn't get my garage that warm. I don't think our garage is that well insulated. We've had a lot of work done on our house recently. We just got a new fence. We just got the house paint, the whole entire exterior of the house painted before the weather turned really cold and wet here. Or not wet here, we're in the high desert, but cold and wintry here in the high desert. So we just got a fence put in. We just got our exterior of our house painted. We had a little studio built on the back of the house last year. So we've been spending a lot of money upgrading our house and making it nicer, but insulating the garage where my workshop is has not been on the priority list yet. Maybe next year we can work on. I can get a better heater or get the garage more insulated or something like that. I'm not super worried about it at this point. I have enough warm, comfortable clothing that my body is often not cold at all. It's just my my hands get cold. And like I said, having the electric hand warmers, they look like little computer mouses. And like I said, I keep those in my pocket. Usually, I forgot them. They're in the house today, but usually I have those in my pockets, and I just stick my hands in my jacket pocket or my pants pocket for like a minute, and they warm my hands up really nicely. And they're the best thing when I'm at the farmer's market, because when I'm at the farmer's market in Reno every week, it's Sunday mornings from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. On Sundays. And when we start that market, it is often 30 degrees outside, and I'm working outside for the next 4 hours. And the high temperature this Sunday, I think it's 24 is the overnight low, 50 is the overnight or is the daytime high on Sunday projected right now. And so the first couple of hours of the market, I'm trying really hard to stay warm. Usually by the time 11:30 rolls around, I'm feeling a lot better. But we're taking two steps. My sweetheart she just bought me an electric jacket. So one of those jackets that has like built-in electric blanket type technology in it. I have no idea what it is, but it's got a USB rechargeable battery. You push a button like right here, and the jacket warms up. So that's coming this week. So I'm gonna wear that this Sunday, and then I have the mouse-shaped electric hand warmers. They'll probably be in the pockets of my jacket so that I can put my hands in there. I often wear gloves like this when I'm out at the farmer's market that have these fingers free so that I can manipulate my phone because I need to take payments. Sometimes I need to write something down, but they help keep my hands warm, and then and these were just regular gloves from the hardware store that I cut those 3 fingertips off of so that I could use them when it's cold outside and still be able to manipulate my phone, take payments. I don't love sharpening with gloves around a spinning belt, but sometimes I have to, depending on how cold it is. So anyway, what else can I tell you about my shop? I just moved my Tormek. This is my Tormek T8, and the Tormek T8 just got some upgrades. I finally got the extended universal support, extended universal bar. I forget what they call this, but I've always needed this for my Tormek. Finally got that just this week. I also just this week got the new KS123 angle guide thing for the Tormek, which is great. The best part about using this is that it doesn't matter what size your wheel is, so you don't have to with this angle guide, you need to take into account when you're setting this angle guide what the diameter of the wheel is of the grindstone in millimeters. With this angle guide, the new KS123 from Tormek, backwards, there we go. The new KS123 from Tormek, you no longer have to worry about the wheel size because it just does it without needing to note that piece of information. So that's really great. I have both of them now. This came with the machine. This I just received this week. So that's been a really nice addition. But I just moved the Tormek from over there to right here because I'm kind of rearranging my shop so that I have better, I'm trying to set up everything that has to do, so my garage door is right over here, and my customers come up to my garage door. I'm primarily a home-based sharpener, and when they come up to the garage door, I'm trying to get all the customer service stuff at the front of my shop. So business cards and receipt books and my plastic bins that I put their knives in and everything like that. I'm trying to rearrange everything so that's all at the front of the shop because my shop has always been pretty organized. It's a little messy right now because I'm in the middle of a couple of projects, but my shop has generally been pretty organized. But but it only organized in terms of putting stuff away, like and having a spot for everything, but not organized in the best possible way in terms of flow. And so basically I'm trying to do an assembly line thing so that I kind of flow around the shop. My shop's like a U-shaped galley, like in a sailboat kind of. And so I'm trying to make customers start over here, and then it flows down this super long workbench. Customers' knives get wrapped up over here, where on this side, and then my Tormek is over here on this side, and then I can return at the end. I'm going to build a shelf over here on the other side. I'm going to put a shelf up so that I can have all those plastic bins of knives right near the front, so when they come up, I don't have to go digging around my shop to try to find where those are. So that's the current plan for Honed by Jones here. Anyways, where's everybody listening from? I see I have maybe a few people on here. Where are you, Home Spark Knife Sharpening? If you're still on there, or if anybody else is listening, let me know where you're from. And I hope you all have. I'm trying to think. There was one more thing I wanted to say about my shop before I got off of here, and I'm just gonna say I hope you have a great Thanksgiving wherever you are. If you're celebrating Thanksgiving tomorrow. Oh, I know what the one more thing I was going to show you was. I was going to show you if I can readjust my. So I'm doing stuff in places that I don't normally do stuff in, so that I can get you into the frame of the camera here. So let's bring you down a little bit. So this is not where I usually wrap up knives. Over here I have a big open workbench space where I usually wrap up knives, but this is how I use this paper. I tend to put the knives in the paper after I've already wiped them off, I've already cleaned them up, and I just roll them up individually in the paper like so. And this tends to do a great job of taking care of the knives, keeping them safe, keeping them from getting scratched. I return them to the customers in this paper. So I can't remember the name of this stuff. If I can remember, if I remember, I'll go on Amazon and I'll stick the link in the comment or in the description. But yeah, it works really well for wrapping up knives. And I try not to wrap them all up in one roll, because if I wrap them all up in one roll, it ends up being too heavy. So I get, I don't know, that was maybe 6, I think. And then the interesting thing about this paper is you can just kind of tear it and it comes right off. And so that roll is done. I'll put rubber bands around that. And then I just go to the next roll, put a few more knives in there. I'll probably do 3 of these rolls. And this is how I send them back to customers. Western Australia. Well, that's cool. Aurora, Illinois. Right on, Paul. Hey, Paul from Western Australia. And hey, Home Spark Knife Sharpening from Aurora, Illinois. I'm curious, Home Spark. Why is your business called Home Spark Knife Sharpening? What is that name about? What does that mean? Two down. Remember, this was a job of 15 knives being sharpened, and like I said, I usually don't do them on this part of the workbench. This is just so that it can fit in the frame of the camera. I'll show you. I've got another workbench over there. See that space, that open space over right there? That's where I usually get customers' knives put away and wrapped up, and got plenty of space there to do it. But I thought this would be a better spot for because of where the camera is today. And like I said, this is I've done a live stream maybe once before. I don't usually do live streams, but my buddy, so I will continue to do this when I come on YouTube. Of course, I want my channel to grow. Of course, I want y'all to like and subscribe to my channel. But there's also so many other good sharpening channels out there. And I learned so much about how to run a sharpening business and how to sharpen knives from those other channels. So I am always shouting them out. So I'm going to shout out today Mike from Sharp and Right Services, because he's always encouraging me to do more YouTube videos. I'm going to shout out another channel that is one I often shout out, which is Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening. You probably heard of him. He's probably got one of the biggest sharpening channels on the interweb, on the internet. I'm going to shout out my buddy Sam, Sam's Mobile Sharpening up in the Northwest. Sam sharpens out of the back of his truck. He has a buck tool 1x30, just like mine, that he's using these days. And he also has a Tormek T4 that he uses in his sharpening business. He also, like me, uses Edge Pro. He's also a user of Edge Pro guided sharpeners, just like I am. I have a Bevel Tech here. I keep this Bevel Tech lives with the scissor sharpening attachment on it from Edge Pro, and I keep that on there all the time. And then I have the Edge Pro Apex with a little custom base that I made for it. Although I think I'm going to take it off of this base, and I think I'm going to buy they have a new base for the Apex that you can get that looks just like the Bevel Tech base. So I think I'm going to swap that guy out for that. But anyway, Sam's Mobile Sharpening up in the Northwest of the United States. He is on YouTube. Just type in Sam's Mobile Sharpening. You'll find his channel. And he is a very knowledgeable sharpener. I'm actually in a text thread with him and another sharpener. And Sam is way younger than me and has sharpened way more things than I have and is way more knowledgeable about sharpening than I am. And is always passing along knowledge to me, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to shout out another one because I used his stuff today. I already talked about it. Cliff Curry, Curry Custom Cutlery in Hawaii. I think we can lift this up a little bit. You've watched me wrap up knives enough. So I'm going to shout out Cliff Curry at Curry Custom Cutlery in Hawaii, just because I order stuff from him regularly. The leather wheel that you saw me use earlier is from him. The angle guides on my 1x42s are from Curry Custom Cutlery. I often buy belts from Curry Custom Cutlery, although I like to try different belts. So I've bought Super Grit belts. I've bought Empire Abrasive. I purchased Empire Abrasive belts. I have purchased Combat Abrasive belts. I have purchased, obviously, the ones from Curry Custom Cutlery. So from about 4 different places. I've tried a lot of different belts, and I will continue to buy. I think my favorites so far are the Super Grit purple belts. They're Bora 7 or something like that from Super Grit, and then the Cubitron belts from Cliff Curry. I think I'll stick with those for my 1x42s. Anywho, I think I'm done. I got all 15 of those knives done. I'm going to text the customer, and these are actually a job to return to the, it's a customer who brought me 15 knives at the farmer's market last Sunday, and I got to return them to her this coming Sunday. Most all knives I do at the farmer's market, but sometimes I have people who walk up and they're like, hey, can I just drop these off now and then I'll pick them up next Sunday? And I say, heck yes, you can definitely do that. Sometimes they're in a hurry. Sometimes they're running to meet some friends, or they've got something they're going to. And so it's great for me. One of the things it does is guarantees that the next farmer's market, I already know I'm going to have 15 knives worth of income that I'm going to get paid for when I get to the farmer's market. So that's nice. Anyway, I was trying to say goodbye before, and then I got distracted talking about my shop, so I'm done for this live stream. Thank you for... Oh, wait. So Home Spark Knife Sharpening said, used to be a union electrician on the work sites. They always called us Sparky. So that's how you got Home Spark Knife Sharpening. I like it. All right, Sparky. Well, thanks for hanging out in the live stream. Thanks for commenting. Thanks to Paul from Western Australia and anybody else who commented on the live stream. great to see you all today. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody who's celebrating it tomorrow. And this is Warren from Honed by Jones. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you feel like liking and subscribing. And I will catch you next time. Hey, thanks, Paul. Thanks for saying you enjoy my channel. I appreciate that. And I will catch y'all next time if I remember how to turn off the live stream.